Hey everyone, welcome to today's episode. Today we're out here at Untouched Suspension in Melbourne. We've got to check out a couple of really nice Mustangs here, and look at this place, mate. There's memorabilia all over the walls.
Oh, yeah.
So this should be a good one. So anyway, let's get into that.
This episode of Aussie Garage is brought to you by our proud partners.
Hey guys, it's Phil here from Aussie Garage. Now I'm here with Arthur. Now Arthur, you've got this beautiful factory here with all this memorabilia all over it, but we'll get to that. But you've also got this beautiful Mustang here, mate. So let's talk about this first and then we can move on to the rest.
Yep.
So how did you find this Mustang, or where did you get it from?
Okay, this came out of the States. I've been looking for cars for a while.
Yep.
I went to America and I couldn't find what I wanted.
Okay.
And I was actually looking at a C1 Corvettes.
Okay, nice.
Bit out of my price range, so I decided I will stick to Mustangs, but nothing that took my liking. So then come back home, and some guys from Melbourne who bring cars in, they said, we've got a black one for you. So it's a triple black, so it's raven black, 65 convertible. I said, bring it on, and they did. So I brought it here. It wasn't in this condition, it was pretty good. There was no rust in it, and I haven't touched the body on it.
Okay, wow.
Or the paint, except for a few touch-ups here and there, but nothing. But the rest was everything. So I redone the suspension, the brakes, engine, transmission, diff, everything's been done. Interior untouched, except for some the body deadening stuff on the inside, the stick-on soundproofing stuff, and that's it.
Wow. Okay. So how? I'm not quite sure. I don't know much about the Mustangs as far as that, but how rare is like a triple black car?
It is rare. Yeah. So it's a factory triple black car, California car, with all the numbers that it came with. It's harder to get. Normally they've got a different colour interior, or but the triple black is harder. So found it, got it, and here it is.
Well, it's good that it was a Californian car, because we've had other people that we've talked to and they haven't got one of these, and the issues that they had later on, even trying to take off bolts and things from underneath, was just a mission.
Well, the rust, that's right.
Yeah, definitely.
This is, except had a little pimple of rust on the bottom of the doors, had those cut out, repaired, that's it.
Yeah, great. Well, that's perfect then. So that's fantastic. And have you always been into American muscles and Australian muscle, or what's your past when it comes to that?
I've always had liking for the American muscle. Yep. But I had back in the day, the early 80s, a 74 LTD.
Oh, nice.
Which I had in the shows back in the day. But
God, I wish you had still had that today.
Yes,
those things are amazing.
Yeah. That was, so I got rid of that when I got married. So. Things changed, and then when it came down the track, I've had a few cars, but this is probably my favourite one.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. And do you take this out to many events and shows and things like that?
Not a lot. I just like to cruise and take maybe my grandchildren out for drives, but for shows I don't get much time anyway, and you've got 5 grandchildren.
That's just so you've got to keep them entertained.
You've got to keep them, that's right.
Okay, so with this, like what kind of wheels and things are you running on this at the moment?
So I upgraded the brakes, so I had 14-inch wheels, identical wheels to these, but when I went to put the wheels on, they wouldn't fit, so I had to go to 15. So it's a 15x7. So similar looking wheels to the hat on the car, so I just put these in it. Lowered the suspension, because my work is more steering suspension, so
so it's good to have that kind of thing and have that look and that stance.
Yeah, so I did that, and there it is, done.
Wow, like I said, that's fantastic. So Arthur, what are you running in the engine bay at the moment?
The engine, it's all standard. It's a 289.
Okay, yep.
Automatic. It has got a small high stall, and I've got a true track.
Okay, nice.
So it just makes it good to drive, good when you're accelerating, taking
Yeah,
off.
because it used to be, what, the 8-inch normally standard?
8 and 3/4.
8 and
they call it.
3/4,
Yeah, it's the same diff, but it's been redone.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Cam, heads,
Okay.
manifold,
Nice.
carby. Yep. So
Yeah.
it's had all that.
Okay, what kind of carb are you running at the moment?
It's a Holley 600.
Oh, yeah.
4-barrel, yeah.
That's good. How do you find the 600 on the 289? Because on my 302 is kind of a little bit rich.
It's not too bad because of the cam and everything else, but it's not a really powerful engine. It's enough to enjoy, but yeah. It's not
Well, the 289s were more set for that cruising.
It's a cruiser, that's right.
And that's
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And that's what they were brought out for. These kind of things were brought out like the family kind of sports car.
That's
You
right.
know, and that's why the pony face kicked off.
That's right. Yeah.
Cheap sports car.
Exactly.
And it worked well.
And it seats 5, so
Yeah.
which is good. Yeah.
And that's it. So at the moment, like, have you got any future plans to change this up or fix it, or to make any other improvements?
Not
to it?
really. If anything, just to drive it a bit more and put the grandkids in and take them out and then start enjoying it a bit more.
Yeah, yeah.
But other than that, no, I don't want to do anything more.
Not a problem. And I was going to ask you, like, did you have to do anything else in the interior side of things?
Untouched.
Wow.
Other than remove the carpet and I put that sound deadening stuff in it. The Dynamat, what I think it's called.
Oh, yeah,
the
sound
Dynamat.
deadening types up.
And putting that made a big difference to the car.
Oh, yeah,
I know it adds
100%.
weight, but it just felt like a much better, like tighter sort of
Yeah,
car to
and
drive.
it does like reduce that noise from the road, 100%.
Especially on a convertible. So
Oh
you've got-
yeah. So how did you find it with like a convertible? Like, is it more fun for you with a convertible? or you just
more
had to-
fun. More fun. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah,
Put
have the
roof
wind
down.
running through your hair.
Yeah, when you
something
got long hair like mine, that's right.
No, it's not a drama, mate. So let's talk about this business and what you do here, and also how you've done this shop, because this shop is just fantastic. But we'll start with your business side of things. So what do you? I know you do suspension, but what kind of suspension are you playing with? Are you street cars, muscle cars, or just everything?
Just about everything, but I do a lot of the old school cars.
Nice.
When it comes to suspension, to wheel alignments, stuff that people nowadays don't know much about. So being an old school person like myself, so we get a lot of the old muscle cars coming in, but I do late model stuff as well.
Okay,
you know. My background is suspension for the last 37, almost 40 years. Sold the big business that I had, and now I was going to retire. So, but I didn't want to retire, so I had this shop here, so I decided to set it up. And
nice.
I'm semi-retired, so I'm doing 3 or 4 days a week now.
Okay.
Doing something I really enjoy in my man cave.
Yeah, so you can just choose your hours, choose the days, choose your clients, and then work around that.
That's right. And I get some really good cars coming through. I've got Graham's car over here. Oh, this one is a non-payer. This one. So, but we get a lot. We get a lot of muscle cars. I get drag cars. We set up some cars for the drag challenge I was on recently.
Yeah.
And one of them actually ended up third in its class. I'm not sure if the suspension made a difference, but maybe it did. Who knows? But yeah, do a lot of that sort of stuff. And all light stuff. I do some light servicing, but predominantly it's the steering suspension that I do.
Yeah, perfect. And Graham's car is absolutely stunning. Like everything about that.
Oh, it's a beautiful car. It really is. That's muscle. This is classic. That's muscle.
That's muscle. Yeah, definitely. That's always one of those iconic cars. That 100% sure.
Definitely.
Yeah. How long are you thinking about continuing on what you do and your business?
To me, indefinitely, because I enjoy it. So as long as I keep enjoying it, I'll just keep doing it.
Yeah, perfect.
I love it. I love the cars, the people.
Like I said, it's a fantastic place to run meets and have people here and do things like that and have that kind of show as well. So what was the inspiration for getting all this on the walls and setting this up?
I've been a collector for years, 40 years, so
nice.
I would have been one. Joking. I've been collecting for a long time, and I love this sort of stuff. So anything that garage and alley stuff, bar stuff, the sort of old stuff, I just love. And collected and put it up and display it. And enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, you've got model cars here, you've got the old servo pumps, you've got all those kind of stuff. I've seen a couple of Foster's things, so I'm going, okay, all good.
The phone box over there. My newest addition is not even a week, is the Penny-Farthing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I bought that from Sydney. I've been looking for one of those for a long time. So that's 1880s, that one.
Wow, awesome.
But everything's got a story here. You know, the Bowsers, the phone box. I've done some restoration stuff myself. Some Bowsers there, and the Coke fridge at the top there. But the signs, everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I see that you got one of those old bicycles there. And like, where did you get one of those from, Phil? Or was this something that was
I stumbled over that. We were in Sydney last week. We went into a collectible shop.
Okay.
And I've walked right past it, didn't even notice it. And then as I come back down the aisle, it took my breath away. I saw it, and I thought, I've been looking for one of those for a long time. And then when I saw that, I thought, no, I've got to buy it.
Yeah, and it looks sensational where it is, hanging over the die-cast cars there. And I'm looking at it going, oh, that is cool. Yeah, like, you don't see many people in their collection having one of those as part of their collection.
It's something I've always wanted and finally got it, which is good. And Frank, my friend Frank over here was good enough to actually put it up for me. Yeah, and there it is.
Yeah, no, 100%. And you know, what's the plans as far as like future events that you might have or anything like that here, you reckon?
Oh, look, it's open to if anyone wants to do anything. I'm happy to host it.
Awesome.
No problem, because it's my passion. So no problem at all. You guys can come back again if you like.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can bring different cars here.
We're always happy to come back and stuff like that. And it's good to know that like people are like you were still doing these kind of classic cars, muscle cars, because to be honest with you, it's a dying art. We have a lot of people that really don't know what they're doing when they're working on these cars, or they don't have the knowledge. And we've had people that we know that have had their cars done and they've come back and nothing's been tightened up underneath after done the wheel alignment. They've driven out of the shop, and then they've either had ball joint problems or whatever else has gone on because of it.
Well, that's my specialty. So so I get a lot of that referral work. So
good. Yeah, absolutely. Because on these cars, you need to know a bit of knowledge on how to tweak things a bit better than just this is the norm.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
No, well, Arthur, really appreciate you talking to us here at Aussie Garage. This thing is amazing, and we're going to go around and have a look at the shop. But, look, mate, thank you for your time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for you guys coming down. It's an honour for me too. So,
thanks mate. All good.
Good on you. Thank you.
This thing sounds absolutely beautiful, mate.
Yeah, it's not too loud, so it's
definitely not obnoxious at all.
No.
Yeah. Definitely just a nice, easy-going cruiser.
Cruiser, exactly what it is. Yeah.
You know,
and my wife's driven it, but everyone can drive it. It's easy to drive. Yeah. Except the steering wheel's on this side.
And now, have you with the your CD player and that is that all aftermarket one where you got the Bluetooth and
that's got the Bluetooth and you can put the what do you call it the stick.
Oh USB type stuff. Yeah, awesome.
And it looks old school. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and that's a good thing about these. They're doing these old repo ones, you know.
Yeah.
So that kind of stuff, like you get those and they just work, but it looks like the original.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, that's right.
They don't leave much room, do they?
No, they don't. As long as it's not rainy, you can have the roof down.
Well, yeah. And, I suppose that's the only thing about a convertible, isn't it?
That's right.
If it's raining, it's like.
That's right.
And now, is this an automatic one or a manual?
Automatic.
Oh, okay, that's good then. You know, at least you got to, you know, you can put it up quickly while you're going. You know,
it's still slow.
Oh yeah. Man, that is
a quick drive.
Yeah, that's it. It's absolutely brilliant, mate. Thanks for that. Appreciate it. Thanks for watching.
watching this week's episode, everyone. And also, don't forget to check out the website. We've got some awesome merch on there. Maybe even grab something for yourself or someone else.
And we appreciate you guys supporting us. Definitely just a nice, easy going cruiser.
Cruiser, exactly what it is. Yeah.
You know,
And